I'm Storm Center 7 Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson. Severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for the southernmost part of Union County in Indiana, and the National Weather Service in in Wilmington has issued a fairly large severe thunderstorm warning for areas south of Liberty and then the counties just to the west of Cincinnati and Indiana. And it looks like the main part of this severe storm is probably going to stay just to our south. And there's kind of an idea, a track on where the most dangerous part of the storm is headed on an east-southeasterly path down towards the Cincinnati metro area. But the northern part of the storm, which is going to clip portions of Union County, certainly still could be strong with some gusty winds, some heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning as well. And that'll continue to head through portions of Union County and then into Butler County as well. So that's a storm that we're going to be watching carefully over the next hour or so. And that is the area also that is in the tornado watch. So those are the areas that are going to be primed for the best chance of some severe weather over the next hour or so. That's the storm that is the most dangerous in our area right now. We also have some other storms off to our west and in the area, and let me just quickly show you where those are right now. And none of these severe across our viewing area at the moment. The bulk of the activity still off to our southwest, and it looks like that's where the main threat for severe weather is going to be over the next couple of hours. So we'll keep a very close eye on live Doppler 7 radar. Any other warnings, we'll certainly pass those to you as quickly as possible. Right now, though, we'll send you back to programming. I'm Storm Center 7 Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson. New severe thunderstorm warnings for Wayne County, Indiana, Preble County in Ohio until 4 o'clock, and also one that's replacing the warning in Union County, Indiana. Let me show you where these storms are right now. They continue to move quickly to the east, and they are strengthening a bit as they move through Union County into southwestern Wayne County as well. Just starting to get some rain developing in Preble County, but the severe line is the one just to the southwest of Liberty in Union County, just to the west of Oxford as well. And if you're watching us from Butler County, stay tuned because you may be next for a warning. Let me give you a little track on this, show you exactly where this is headed. Towards the east-northeast, it's going to take it up across southern Union County and eventually into southernmost Preble County and northernmost Butler County as well. So if you're watching us from College Corner or Oxford, certainly the possibility you could get some gusty winds with this as it does continue to move eastward across the area over the next hour or so. Let's take in a little closer here and show you where exactly we're talking about. Liberty and Union County starting to get that initial line of storms moving through, and West College Corner, you're going to be getting some gusty winds coming up here in the next 10 to 15 minutes as well. Northward, that warning just north of Richmond, right along I-70, Centerville, Indiana, getting some heavier rain. Probably a little less chance Richmond northward for any gusty winds, but certainly some heavy rain and lightning with that as well. So we continue to watch this line moving into the southwestern Miami Valley. Keep in mind a tornado watch also in effect for Union County, Butler County, and Warren County as well. And just off to our southwest in Dearborn County, Indiana, west of Cincinnati, there is a tornado warning, and it looks like the best threat for any rotating storms with tornadoes is probably going to stay just to our south, Cincinnati southward. So we'll continue to watch this line as it moves in. We're continuing to watch it quickly move to the east. A lot of lightning with this as well, and it will move eastward over the next couple of hours across the southern Miami Valley, and we can actually put that radar into motion out ahead of an hour from now, and you can see Dayton southward, that line's going to be moving through, and by 4:20 into Greene and Clinton counties. And I just noticed that we just got a brand new warning for Butler and for Warren County as well. And let's continue to focus in down to the southwest where those strongest storms are. Those warnings for Butler and Warren County, the western half of Warren County, those go until 4:15. And probably the strongest part of this line is going to be the one moving into Butler County and into the northwest suburbs of Cincinnati. And that's going to continue to head eastward through Butler and Warren counties, and that's why they just issued the warning for that area as well. So again, this line continuing to race eastward very quickly at about 60 miles an hour, and when the line itself is moving that quickly to the east, that means you can get strong winds that fast. So 60-mile-an-hour winds pretty much about as strong as we were looking at with some of those storms Friday night. So that could bring down some tree limbs, perhaps even some trees as well, and certainly a lot of lightning with this, so you certainly want to stay indoors with these storms. So I-70 southward, it looks like it's going to be under the gun for some strong winds over the next hour or two. If we have any other warnings, we'll certainly pass those along to you as soon as we get them. These are storms you're going to want to stay away from windows, stay in an interior part of your house, with the main threat, again, being some strong damaging winds. Warnings now for Preble, Wayne, Union, Butler, and Western Warren County. If we have any others, we'll pass them along. We'll send you back to programming.
Had everything leveraged on auto. Fails a drive-off. Company goes bankrupt.
Sabotage.
Someone wanted him to fail.
Not bad, McGee.
The National Weather Service in Wilmington has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Clinton County, northeastern Warren County, southwestern Greene County, southeastern Montgomery County until 9 p.m. At 8:10 p.m., National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This dangerous storm was located near Miamisburg, moving east at 36 miles an hour. At 8:10 p.m., a rotating wall cloud was reported near Springboro. Locations in the path of the storm include Centerville, Bellbrook, Waynesville. In addition, Woodbourne Hyde Park, State Route 48 at State Route 73, Lytle, Corwin, Mount Holly, Roxanne, and Spring Valley are near the path of this dangerous thunderstorm. If you are near the path of this storm, take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Mobile homes and vehicles should be abandoned for more substantial shelter. Avoid windows. Please report tornadoes, final clouds, strong winds or hail to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 877-633-6772 when you can do so safely.
All right, a tornado warning has just been issued for the area you can see outlined in red there on live Doppler 7 radar. Looks to be southern Montgomery County, also portions of Greene County, Kettering, Xenia southward, northeastern Warren County, and far northwestern Clinton County as well. This goes until 9 o'clock this evening, and we will continue to watch this situation very, very carefully and try to determine exactly what areas are most at risk for this potential. And we have a couple of tools that we can use to do exactly that. So let's try to investigate exactly the areas that may be most at risk. And it seems to be this area here over southeastern Montgomery County, south of Centerville, into southwesternmost Greene County, north centralmost Warren County as well. And live Doppler 7 radar is certainly showing an area of thunderstorms that has been developing over the last hour or so. And probably the most likely area where you need to be taking cover right now is right in this area here, Centerville southward towards the Warren County line. So certainly those areas you need to be getting to a safe place in your home if you can. Let's give you a better idea of exactly where we're talking about here. This is West Spring Valley Pike. Of course, this is State Route 48 right in this area here. And probably the most likely area is going to be just to the west of State Highway 48 into portions of Centerville, Washington Township. And those of you who live on the north side of Springboro need to be getting to a safe place as well. Get to your basement if you can. Lowest level interior room away from windows. Bathrooms, closets, rooms without windows are certainly the best places to get. Let's try to see if we can figure out exactly where the rotation is within this storm, and we will do that by taking a look at the winds within this storm. And nothing really defined showing up here to what I'm seeing at the moment. So hopefully this is not a really tight rotation across southwestern portions of Centerville and Washington Township. But that's the area certainly that looks to be at risk right now as we continue to watch this very carefully on live Doppler 7 radar. Let's see if we can get a track for you here. We're going to try to zoom out a little bit and get a better idea of exactly where we're looking at here. And there we go. We can get the one right here from the center of this storm. Give you an idea that it is moving off to the east, not all that fast. So it'll continue to move eastward across portions of southeastern Montgomery County. So those of you in southwestern Greene County also need to be getting to a place of safety with this particular storm. What's happened as we've headed through the early evening is that first round of storms cleared out. We continued to see the clouds break up, got some sunshine, and then the warm air kind of surged back in on southerly winds across the Miami Valley, and these storms have developed, and that's why we're seeing these storms rapidly develop. And sometimes in the wake of earlier storms, the wind fields can be such that when new storms develop, you can get these quick spin-ups across portions of the area. And that's probably what we're seeing right now, and that's what probably is causing some rotation within this storm and why we're getting the tornado warning. Now, this is another wind product that we're looking at and continuing to watch exactly where this storm may be, and probably right in the area that we've been looking at already. Right in this area here is probably the most likely area where there could be some rotation within this storm. And it's the same areas that we've been highlighting all along here. Centerville, Washington Township, southwestward on Live Doppler 7. That's where we're seeing probably the best indications of this in our area. So again, we want to be getting to certainly a place of safety. Now, this is very interesting what we're seeing here. We're actually seeing perhaps what we call a bounded weak echo region. I know it's a technical term, but basically this is a signature that we see on radar where possibly there could be some winds rotating around the storm, and it kind of wraps the raindrops around the center of the circulation, and right in the center of that circulation, typically you can get a little less rain. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Let me kind of point out what I'm talking about. This is the area right here where we're getting a little less radar reflectivity, a little less rain falling right there, and certainly heavier rain circling that to the north, and that may be where the winds are starting to turn around within this storm, and continuing to watch this area right here for the possibility of that rotation. So that's certainly the area that I think is most at risk right now, and we continue to watch that. Now, that was the National Weather Service radar we were looking at a moment ago, and this is Live Doppler 7 radar, not showing up quite as well here, but that's the same area, and this is the area that certainly needs to be highlighted as the greatest risk for that tornado right now. Continuing to slowly, very, very slowly move off to the east. So this is going to be lingering for a while in this area, and certainly don't want to move away from your safe place if you're down in southeastern Montgomery County. Basically, if you live east of 75, south of 675, Centerville, Washington Township, down into the northern parts of Springboro. That's the area most at risk right now. Stay in your safe place. Grab some blankets. Cover yourself up with those blankets to keep yourself safe in case there is any flying debris. Even if there isn't a tornado, there certainly could be some strong winds with this particular storm as well. Now, it seems to me that perhaps an area that we also need to be watching is it may be drifting a bit now down into northeastern Warren County. This area right in here that I'm going to highlight, maybe what we're starting to see the signs of a hook right in here. Winds coming back around the storm like this, and some winds coming up into the storm like this, and perhaps this area right here in northeastern Warren County, maybe an area that is under the gun right now as well.
Warning for Fayette County, Union County, northeastern Franklin
that
County,
storm is moving
until
at
9
36
p.m.
miles an hour, and it wasn't actually spotted by anybody. The National Weather Service indicated that there could be possibly a tornado on Doppler, and you can see why, as Jamie has been showing you, with that hook region. That is typically what we look for on Doppler when we're trying to look for a possible tornado pattern, and these are pretty dangerous storms to begin with. So even if you aren't in the path of this tornado, make sure you stay inside, because there's lightning, damaging winds, there's heavy rain outside, and as we can see, it's moving east a little at 5 Points Road right now. So if you are around that road, make sure you take cover. Right on the corner of that road and State Highway 48 is probably the most dangerous spot right now. That's the spot where you definitely want to get in your safe place right now. You may be seeing the sunshine out there right now. Maybe you're even seeing just light rain is what it looks like, but that doesn't mean that it's not a potentially dangerous situation. The storm is moving your way, and again, it is moving east at 36 miles an hour. And we have seen some hail with this storm, some severe thunderstorms around the area, especially down to the south. And we also have in northwestern Clinton County, northeastern Warren County, southwestern Greene County, and southeastern Montgomery County. You are all in this tornado warning right now. So if you are in any of those places, just make sure you take cover.
Now, we have just had another tornado warning been issued as well. So this is one area we're going to be watching very carefully here. But also a tornado warning has just been issued for Union County, Indiana as well. And continuing to watch that area very closely also. And let's try to get a better idea of exactly what's happening out in that area. And let me turn back on live Doppler 7 radar here and get an idea of exactly where that is. And that one not looking nearly as defined as what we're seeing in portions of southeastern Montgomery and northeastern Warren County. But Union County, Indiana, tornado warning until 9 o'clock this evening. You can see right there where the warning is. So those of you southwest of Liberty, certainly the possibility that we could be looking at the possibility of some storms that could have some rotation as well. And it looks like it's probably well, it's tough to say. These are not well-defined hooks by any means that we're picking up here, but we will be watching both areas very, very carefully as we head through the next half an hour or so with these warnings that we do have. Let me see if we can try to pinpoint a little bit better exactly where this one is. And watching this one off to the west, and that's what I was suspecting actually, that the most dangerous part of this storm is actually still to the west of Union County, Indiana, and it's probably going to be back, like I said, west of the county in this area back in here. So that one is going to slowly move into Union County. If you're in Union County, you have a little bit of time still to get to your safe place. And since that one is going to take a little while to move into the county, let's head back over to southeastern Montgomery County and northeastern Warren County and try to get a better look at that one and try to pinpoint exactly where that may be once again. And looks to me, Kimberly, like this is definitely now looking like a more defined hook that we're seeing down around the Lytle 5 Points area. And I'm actually going to turn off the warning right now so we can get a better look at the radar.
And even without the warning on there, you can definitely see that hook in the shades of the orange and the yellow and the blue. And you can see where there's no rain or very little rain in contrast to where we're seeing the heavier rain. And that's what we're looking at, where there may be some rotation. And as you turn that on, you can see definitely in between the shades of the red and the green is where we could definitely see some rotation.
Yeah, it looks like it's right around the Lytle area. We have some winds heading in this direction here and some winds heading in this direction here. So right in the Lytle area would be the area that I would pinpoint as being most likely where this could be. And again, we don't have any ground truth with this as of yet. This is all Doppler indicated. If we get any spotter reports, we'll certainly pass that along to you. But this is something that we're going to have to watch carefully through the evening, because these storms, we now have 2 of them that have prompted tornado warnings, and certainly there could be more of these as we head through the evening with some very quick spin-ups across the area. And this is something that certainly needs to be taken seriously. If you live in Waynesville, you need to be getting to a safe place immediately. Not getting a track specifically on that part of the storm, but you can kind of get an idea of the direction that these are moving in, certainly, as they're continuing to head off towards the east-southeast. And that box with the line in the middle kind of shows you the direction here off to the east-southeast. Now, that is not centered on the tornado, but you can kind of get a sense of a direction. Now, one thing that I can do here for you is I can give you a kind of a manual storm track, we call it, on that particular cell that where we think the tornado is centered, and we'll take it off to the east-southeast, and the speed about 30 miles an hour or so, and so it's going to be in that general direction there. heading towards Waynesville in the next few minutes. If you live in Corwin or Harveysburg, this could be headed in your direction as well. And we can kind of show you the times with this as it heads off towards the east-southeast. Waynesville about 8:30 or so, continuing towards 8:35, up towards 8:40, getting down towards the northwest Clinton County line. So that's the area most at risk, and that's the area where you certainly need to be getting to your safe place. Now, one thing also, we were talking about Centerville, Washington Township a little bit earlier. I think those of you living in southeastern Montgomery County, a little bit less risk for you. So if you live center of Centerville, northward, 725 northward, I would say that your risk is pretty much gone now for any tornadic activity, with the main threat to being down now headed towards the Waynesville area. But I want to point something out. All along this entire line of storms, you have one right here, you have one right here, you almost can kind of get a sign of one right there. Those are all areas where there may be a little bit of rotation within the storm. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a tornado spinning up in any of these given areas, but anytime you get some rotation within a storm, that can enhance the winds. So some gusty winds certainly could be a threat with this. There could be some hail with these storms as well.
And you know, Jamie, even the lightning can be dangerous if you're outside. You know, many of us have outdoor activities planned. Maybe you're outside and you just came in. Do not go back outside right now. We have lots of lightning strikes around the area, and as we put a counter on this, 320 lightning strikes right now. So quite a bit out there. So even if you are not in the path of the tornado warning, still definitely make sure you stay inside and stay tuned here, because as Jamie said, we could see winds spin up. Tornadoes can spin up basically at any time in a situation like this, where we're looking at a severe storm and the winds just right after the earlier storms, and we're seeing kind of a boundary right here between the drier air from earlier and the air that's moving in from the south. And what we're zooming in on right now looks like a pretty good indication of some hail right now.
Actually, when you get these colors here, that's very, very turbulent winds, which may be pinpointing the area of the storm where a tornado may be. So let's kind of give you an idea. You can see the Lytle right there. This is areas just north of State Route 73. This road right here is Lytle Road, so Lytle 5 Points area. Those of you who live in northeastern Warren County, you're familiar with these areas right here, and continuing to watch very carefully as this will be heading east-southeast. So if you live in Waynesville, you need to be getting to a safe place in your home right now. Basements, lowest level, rooms without windows. If you don't have a basement, a bathroom if it doesn't have windows, closets, great places to be. Grab some blankets and just get there and stay there. Turn the TV up as loud as you can. Listen to us. We'll talk you through this if you can't be watching the screen. So that's certainly what the advice that we give to you. If you're in a mobile home, if you're in Waynesville, if you have someplace right next door that's a much more sturdier building, get there right now, as you have a few minutes still until this will be heading into your area. And, okay, we just got an update there, and that turbulent wind signature not showing up nearly as well. But certainly, I think the hook now, southeast of Lytle, moving into the Waynesville area. So Waynesville now, you are under the gun, as this is live Doppler 7 radar at this very time right now. And that's the area that's most at risk.
And Jamie, I want to mention, we just got a report of Guiley Warren, just report... Skywarn, just excuse me, I couldn't read it. Reported rotation around Greene County Airport.
Okay.
So, not the location that we're looking at, but just goes to show you that we could see rotation in many places around here right now. And as we're going to take you over there and see where this rotation was spotted, and it looks like we do have maybe a slight hook up there as well, but although it's facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, not as defined, but all of these storms are going to have the potential for some rotation. Now, there was reported that there was some rotation. That could have been kind of a broad rotation. Skywarn people are very, very good at what they do in terms of spotting severe weather, and I think it's as important a piece of information that they were not seeing a funnel cloud as they were just some rotation. So that's hopefully an indication that it's not as serious a situation up in there. There's the tornado warning again. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings for essentially the same area. The tornado warning certainly takes precedence, and the areas most at risk. In fact, we could probably now remove areas north and west of the line that I've just drawn. So if you live north of 725 in Centerville, areas of Beaver Creek Township, Kettering, I think that you are out of the threat for any tornado at this point. Centerville, things not looking nearly as bad as in terms of a possibility of a tornado as what we're seeing down in the Waynesville area. That's certainly the area that I think is most at risk right now.
And you know, Jamie, now it looks like that is almost moving out of the tornado warning. So I'm wondering if they're going to need to issue another one going a little bit farther south. So even if you're a little bit out of this box, you may want to take cover or just along the edge of this box, because we have been tracking that. It's just southeast of Lytle right now, near Waynesville. I think that's the area that we're looking at, and that is in the box, and you can certainly see that wrapped rain, the hook as we call it. And you know, certainly have also seen reports of rotation in other places, and this storm moving at 36 miles an hour, but there are other storms out there too, so it is a good idea to stay tuned here. And now there's also looking like another area of rotation.
This is certainly an area that we'll need to watch as well, kind of in the same area where the first one formed, northwest of Lytle, right along the Montgomery and Greene County line. So that's an area there. Those of you that have taken cover from the first warning, you probably want to stay in the same place. Stay there until we let you know that it's okay to leave. Now let's not ignore folks in Union County, Indiana. Let's check out that storm as well, because that one is also one where we have the tornado warning. This is looking very similar. West of Liberty and Roseburg, perhaps the signs of what may be a bit of a hook in this area right here. Winds rotating around the storm in this area here. So right along the Union County line on the west side of the county, the possibility there that there could be a spin-up of a tornado as well.
And the one in Union County, that goes until 9 o'clock, and that was spotted at first at 8:19, and that's moving again east at 36 miles an hour. So that one, it is going to continue moving east, and you can see the same colors that we saw in the other one over there as well. And that's indications of some very turbulent winds. We can give you a real good track on this one, heading just south of east, continuing across southern portions of Union County. Let me move this to a better spots where you can see it, and they'll continue to head east-southeast towards Salem, Old Bath, Cottage Grove, West College Corner. That is in the westernmost part of Butler County at 8:51, and this is looking very, very impressive in terms of some damaging winds with this one, possibly. Perhaps some winds of 80 miles an hour. That's not uncommon with weak tornadoes, and that just kind of gives you an indication of the type of damage that these can be doing as they move eastward into the westernmost part of Union County. Well, Jamie, now I want to let you know, somebody just came in and said that we have now 2 confirmed rotations in North Xenia, and we were just looking over there, and it looks like that is on the northernmost edge of the line of storms that we've been following. But again, 2 confirmed rotations. Now, they didn't say funnel clouds or tornadoes, so keep that in mind. But just some rotation in the clouds, meaning the winds are very unstable right now. We have some turning of the winds, and that is definitely an indication that we could see some more tornadoes spin up in certain locations. But north of Xenia, not really looking like a whole lot's going on. We're not seeing any rain up there right now, or lightning for that matter either. So and the Skywarn people have said they're very, very good, and we continue to watch this area, and we'll continue to get their reports
as we and they're in a good place. They're able to watch these storms, and if there is a funnel cloud, they will let us know. They will certainly pass that along, and we'll certainly pass that along to you as well. So let's check that one of these things that we have here, the valuable tool, once again, that shows us where the most dangerous parts of these storms are. And where you see the greens here, that is typically just some rain. Some of the pink shades there indicating hail, some turbulent winds as well. I haven't had any reports of any hail with this, but this is indicating there could be some large hail as well that may be in this area also. So that's something to keep in mind. Another reason to stay away from windows, certainly, as damaging winds and hail both could be a threat with this particular storm as it slowly drifts eastward. And the tornado warning again for areas of southeastern Montgomery County, far northeastern Warren County, northwest Clinton County, and the southwestern quadrant of Greene County, Xenia southward. And certainly the most dangerous part of this storm is going to be the areas that I'm going to highlight here. I'm going to zoom in on them for you. A couple areas. It looks like the hook that we saw from Waynesville appears to be weakening to me. And now the area that I think is probably the one that we need to watch most carefully is right in this area here, which is the same area that about 10 minutes ago we were seeing a similar thing as we continue to see the semblances of some hooks here indicating some rotation within the storm. And again, have not had any confirmations of any tornadoes, but certainly we're seeing indications that there is the possibility, as these storms are showing some rotation, that these storms could cause a spin-up, certainly. So this is the area north of State Highway 73 and east of Highway 48 in northwestern Warren County.
That's right. And the National Weather Service actually just put down another statement reminding all of us that the tornado warning is going to remain in effect for another 20 minutes. So they too feel that there is enough indication of rotation that we need to keep these tornado warnings in effect, even though, we have not seen any confirmed tornadoes or heard of any. If you have heard of any, certainly let us know, or if you've seen any. And it happened at 8:27 when the National Weather Service saw on Doppler radar that continued to indicate the rotation, and now moving east at 37 miles an hour. So really not all that fast, but the winds in these storms are pretty fast, and especially at times we saw in Union County maybe up to 80 miles an hour. And we are continuing to watch this line of storms. Also has some pretty heavy rain in there, so we shouldn't discount that either. So many of these tornadoes, if we do see some tornadoes, could be wrapped in rain. You may not see them. So certainly if you are in the warning area, definitely take cover and continue to take cover until we're sure that this is all passed. And remember, it goes until 9 o'clock, so definitely stay put until 9 o'clock in a safe, a sturdy building. It's very important to stay away from windows in this situation, maybe into a bathroom. If you don't have a basement, the basement is certainly best, but definitely maybe in a stairwell if you are in an apartment building or anything, get to the bottom floor of the building. And Jamie, it looks like this area that we were watching is now spreading out, so maybe not quite as tight a rotation if we're seeing any.
I would agree with that. It's not looking as defined. We have the reports of some rotation up in the Xenia area, and as you can see, those storms are moving out of Xenia, so that's good news for you. You may have noticed in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, the map there, a new tornado watch has been issued for essentially the southern two-thirds of the area, and that watch goes out until 3 a.m. So, the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, which is a branch of the National Weather Service, they monitor these trends for severe weather, and they're now saying, hey, this is an entire area that could be under the gun for possibility of some tornadoes, and that's why we now have the tornado watch that has been issued,
and also some more tornado warnings.
Right, new tornado warnings. So let's go through these. Clinton County, and that's just an extension southeastward of the previous one. So as those storms continue to head southeast, we will have those also those warnings that we have, those will continue to head off to the southeast, and that's why they've extended that tornado warning for Clinton County.
Let's see where this storm is going to go as we move this for you. You can see at about 8:52 it'll be in Reeseville, and 8:56 Lee's Creek, 8:59 Memphis, 9:07 in Georgetown. So if you are in any of those areas or near those areas, it is time for you to take cover now. We do have this storm that has been potentially producing tornadoes, some rotation that we've been indicating, and that the National Weather Service has also been indicating to us. This is moving your way, and it will be in your area very, very quickly. So you definitely want to take cover now. This is not the time to go out and watch it or try to find it. You need to take these situations pretty seriously as we track this storm right now, and you can see where it is moving, and we have many tornado warnings starting to pop up along this line, and this is sort of a boundary of between the thunderstorms that we saw earlier to the south and just the rain and less severe storms that we saw to the north earlier on today. We saw some sunshine out there. It may started off as a pretty nice evening, and then these storms popped up in that. And as we take you out to Union County, we're going to track this storm for you at about 8:45. If you're in College Grove, that's where it will be. West College Corner, that's in Butler County, and that will be at 8:50. Oxford at 8:58. So if you are in any of those areas, definitely take cover right now. This is heading your way in the next little bit.
And if you know somebody at Miami University that maybe is not in front of a TV right now, maybe doesn't have this information, you want to get on the cell phone, give them a call, let them know what is headed their way. That may be a very, very wise thing to do. Now, this warning goes out until 9:30. The new warnings go until 9:30 for Clinton County that we showed you. Also for southernmost Preble County and portions of Butler County, this warning goes until 9:30 as well. Now, I guess if there's any good news to be reported out of all of this is that the setup we have is not one that's going to create very large and very powerful tornadoes that are going to knock down buildings. They're not going to be the strongest tornadoes, but nonetheless, they're going to be tornadoes that may be capable of producing 80-mile-an-hour winds, certainly enough to knock out windows, take down entire trees. Certainly strong enough that you really need to be getting to a safe place in your home with these particular storms as they continue to head off to the east-southeast. And this is really a telling thing to show you here. This is, again, one of the features we have on our radar system. It shows us a couple of different things within the storm. This area to the northeast portion of the storm indicating some large hail, and very often northeast of where the rotation may be, we can get some large hail. And this does not mean that there's 100-mile-an-hour winds at the ground. It means that there are some very, very strong winds within this storm, and some of those may mix down to the surface and cause some damage, certainly. And this is, I think, probably the strongest storm that we're seeing across the area right now. And
this almost is a pretty good indication that there is even a funnel cloud or some sort of tornado on the ground there. So definitely a situation where you want to be careful. But this is probably the best or worst setup that we've seen throughout this entire situation.
Yeah, so those of you south of Liberty in Union County around Roseburg, over into far western Butler County, that's an area where you absolutely have to be in a safe place right now. As we've been mentioning, basement's best, lowest floor of the home, bathrooms, closets. Basically what you want to do is you want to get as many walls, solid walls between you and the outside world as you possibly can, because the number one threat with strong winds and tornadoes is certainly damage, and head trauma is responsible for most injuries and most deaths in tornadoes. So that's the reason why you need to get as much between you and the outside world as you can in these situations. Now, we're not seeing nearly as defined structures with hooks here by any means with our first area of warnings, but this is an area just to the northeast of Waynesville. This is along State Highway 42, heading up towards Spring Valley. Many of you familiar with that stretch of road. Heading towards the northernmost part of Cedar Creek Lake. That's an area where I think is certainly one where there could be some rotation within the storm as well. So that's an area that we're watching very carefully, not seeing the same signatures we did out in Union County. That's good, although
But still, that doesn't mean that it's not a dangerous storm.
Absolutely, just not as well defined. So that's an area that certainly bears watching. Farther southeast into Clinton County, not seeing anything that has me tremendously concerned right now. Not seeing any well-defined hooks in this area right here. So that's potentially some good news. And also up into Montgomery County, Centerville now, over to Xenia, Bellbrook, Spring Valley. Looks like things are much improved for you. And I would not be surprised if the Weather Service perhaps whittles back on this tornado warning a bit, especially across southeastern Montgomery County, although it does continue until 9 o'clock.
Now, the tornado warnings, certainly they take precedence, but I also want to make a quick mention of we've had reports of flooding in Miamisburg and Miami Township, flooded roadways. So if you are heading out in that area, you probably shouldn't. You should probably stay by your TV and make sure you are aware if we have any storms moving your way. But if you know anybody that's out or if you have to head home, just make sure you're aware of that. There is water across the roadways, and we're continuing to see some periods of heavy rain as indicated by the oranges and the reds on our radar. And this heavy rain, these storms are forming across the same area and just traveling across the same path, and that's dumping a lot of rain very quickly. So in addition to the tornado warnings, the lightning, the hail, we also have some flooding out there as well.
Yeah, and we have warning now for Wayne County, Indiana, severe thunderstorm warning, and we'll continue to watch. Actually, let me just double check on this to make sure that it is, severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County. That goes until 9:30. I don't want to ignore you folks not seeing a sign of rotation with this one. I'm sorry, I'm getting some information. We're getting some information that it may be a tornado warning in Wayne County. Okay, it is a thunderstorm warning. Okay, just want to make sure we're all clear on this. It is a thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning for Wayne County. So possibility of some hail and gusty winds with that particular storm, but not National Weather Service. What they do is they watch their radars very carefully, just as we are doing with you here, and they're not seeing any signs of rotation right now. So that's some good news, although, you know, we started off with severe thunderstorm warnings for Montgomery County and continued to watch that storm strength and get a little bit of rotation. So they issued the tornado warnings. So those of you in Wayne County, that doesn't mean that you may not upgrade to a tornado warning as we head through the next 20 to 30 minutes as well. So let's try to, it's 10 of 9 right now. We've got 10 minutes left on some of these warnings. Some of the warnings go to 9:30, and we continue to watch this situation very carefully. I'm going to ask my director if he can, if we could switch from our Viper system over to our Doppler radar temporarily. Don, can we do that? And if we can, okay. If we could do that for you, we need to do something with our other system. Thanks a lot. And we need to continue to watch this situation, and we'll certainly stay with you here. As long as we have these warnings, we're going to stay on the air and continue to track these storms as they head off towards the east-southeast. Very much staying over the same areas, however. So that's one thing that is going to be a concern. As Kimberly was mentioning a moment ago, there is the possibility of some flooding starting to arise as well. So let's hone in again on our western storms, because the one that has been the one that's looked the most ominous to us has been this one over now southeastern Union County and into southwestern Preble, coming in on the Oxford area as well. That's an area that we're going to watch certainly carefully. Wayne County, Indiana, not looking like we're having any rotation within that particular storm, but that's an area that we're going to have to keep an eye on carefully as well, because these storms have been showing some signs of rotation from time to time. And also the tornado warnings for especially northwestern Clinton County and far northeastern Warren County. That's an area where we're watching very carefully as well. Getting an update there from live Doppler 7 radar. You can see right on the northern edge of Caesar Creek Lake, right in here. That's one area where we're seeing what may be a bit of a hook, maybe some rotation with that one right there. So that's going to be moving across the northern tip of Caesar Creek Lake and into northwestern Clinton County. Those of you watching from Waynesville, it looks as if your threat has passed for the moment. So right along I-71 in Clinton County around Gurneyville, that's another area I think that bears watching. Looks right like this kind of could be looking like there's a bit of a hook there as well. So that's something that certainly we'll be watching as well as we head over the next 20 to 30 minutes. These storms continuing to head off towards the south. It's going to continue to be a threat as well, and we will continue to see rainfall amounts add up. We had over an inch in spots earlier today. These storms have been over the same areas, so flooding could also become a threat as well as we continue into the night. Flood advisories have been issued for parts of the southern Miami Valley, and not impossible we may get some flood warnings as we head down the road.
That's right, and again, as we said, we have seen had some reports of flooding from people who have actually been out and water over the roadways, and I think that we will continue to see more of that as we get through the next few hours. And those flood advisories, they go until 9:45 p.m. and we are going to take a look at the tower cam right now, as I'm getting word right now in my ear. Taking a look at that, we are hearing thunder over our station right now, some heavy rain, as we were saying, and I think we're going to wait a minute. So let's go over the flood advisory again. We have them around the Miami Valley in those places where you see the storms, and also those tornado warnings right now. So make sure, if you are anywhere in the Miami Valley, especially down to this Dayton and points to the south, that you are getting in a safe place. And especially even if you are at Miami University, as Jamie was saying, I know many of those college homes down there do not have basements. It's very important to get to an interior room away from windows, and that's probably the best thing that you can do in this situation. And lots of severe thunderstorm warnings popping up. We have those tornado warnings again if you are points to Springboro and to the southeast around Wilmington. We have a tornado warning. We have that tornado warning in Indiana, and we are going to continue to update you as this situation continues. And I think we're hearing some heavy rain over us right now, and that's what meant. At our tower cam, you can see that flag blowing. We have some pretty strong winds out there, and this looks very cloudy out there right now, and you can't see a whole lot because of the heavy rain, and we're not really seeing any flashes of lightning, but I think if we watch, we will start to see some right there. You know, Jamie, it would be very hard to see if there was a tornado coming at us with all the heavy rain and the hail. Many of the tornadoes around here are what we like to call rain-wrapped, and that means you couldn't really see them coming at you, and that means that you need to take precautions ahead of time. You don't just wait until you spot a funnel cloud to take cover. Yeah, and we're going to be pinpointing the areas most at risk. Trust us with the information that we're getting on our radar to keep you informed of the areas most at risk. Okay, I'm going to ask Don if we could go back to our Viper system now. Thank you very much. Again, you can see where the tornado warnings are for portions of Montgomery, Greene, northernmost Warren County, a good part of Clinton County, northern half, all the areas you see highlighted in red here, and also Union County, Indiana, Butler County, northern half of Butler County, Indiana, and also southernmost Preble County. We also have the severe thunderstorm warnings for Wayne County into Preble County, from Richmond over to Eaton, severe thunderstorm warnings for Montgomery and northern Warren and Greene County, excuse me, as well. So let's once again try to get you in closer to some of these storms, turn off the warnings so we can see the radar a little bit better, and we take you back into Clinton County here.
One of the areas we've been watching carefully, and I'm going to try to get you some tracks on these and show you where they're headed.
We're starting to see some a little bit more defined in terms of where we may see some rotation in this storm. And we weren't seeing very much earlier. Now we're starting to see a little bit more, but as we track this storm, we just had that track up. And you can see it is moving again to the east, southeast, and Jamie's showing you where you may see some rotation in there right now. Those are the little hooks that we're talking about, so to speak, and that's where the winds may be rotating around, where you see the heavier rain in contrast with the lighter rain or even no rain at all. Then that's where we could start to see those hook echoes. And you can also see, as we take a look, some turbulent winds out there, not quite as strong as we were seeing in some areas, but certainly still could have some rotation out there.
And these aren't looking all that bad in terms of areas that I would pinpoint saying, yes, there's a tornado there. That's not an area that looks as threatening as what we've been seeing off to our west. The one that was in Union County, now moving into portions of Butler County, so let's get in close on that. And this not looking like a real defined hook either, but the Oxford area certainly would be an area that I would pinpoint as one that has that threat. Those of you in Oxford, West College Corner down to Oxford, down to McGonigal, that's certainly an area where you need to be getting to a safe place in your home as well. So really, it's this one thing that we've been noticing, Kimberly, is it's the southern edge of all of these storms that has been the areas that are the ones where we've been seeing these turbulent winds and these spin-ups. And there's a very simple reason for that. We've been getting some southerly winds near the ground that come up into the storms like this, and the winds aloft within the storms are from the west-northwest, and that's why we're seeing the movement that we are just south of east as they move through the area. So as the air comes up, it comes up through the storm, starts to turn, and that's the rising that you get. And as it turns to the east, it continues to rise, and this is the area of the storm where hail is a main threat. But every once in a while, a little piece of the rising updraft will spin off and come back in this direction. And that's the area where you can start to get some of those rotating clouds. That's the part of the storm where you can start to get some rotation, and that's the part of the storm that we pinpoint as the area where there may be a tornado. And here's live Doppler 7 radar, current time again, and the Oxford area certainly is one that I think would be an area where that's a possibility. Now, northeast of Oxford, College Corner over to Somersville, Collinsville, that's an area where hail is a possibility. A lot of lightning within this storm, as you can see as well. And lightning is typically a sign of some very quickly rising air. With those strong updrafts can give you some hail as well as some very, very heavy rain.
That's right. Lightning is a very good indication of how severe a storm is. And if you see lots of lightning flashes like we're seeing with this one, definitely, again, a good indication that we have some severe storms. And I think we are going to take another look at our tower cam to see what's going on outside right now, if we can take a look at that. I just heard word that we were going to look at that.
We're also going to head over to James Brown, who has some information for us.
Doppler 7 right now, and Jamie's again focused right there on the Oxford area, hail in that particular area, and big concerns there from firefighters. Thank you to our crew upstairs. And again, as I'm watching from home, and Jamie and Kimberly talking about that little hook right there, that's always something that they pay very close attention to. That's a very big concern of theirs. We've seen them from Montgomery County into Greene County, also Warren County, Clinton County. Got off the phone about 5 minutes ago with the Clinton County Sheriff's Office. They have numerous reports of funnel clouds, nothing on the ground in Clinton County, in the area of 73 as well in Warren County. So gives you a better perspective. Jamie?
That's good information for me, James, because we clearly have been watching this storm that's moved now into Butler County County, that clearly has looked like the strongest storm. That clearly was showing signs on the radar of a more well-defined rotation that we would really pinpoint as probably, there's actually two areas right now, one right near Oxford and the one just southeast of McGonigal. Both of those are areas where there could be some rotation within the storm, and we weren't really seeing anything as defined in Clinton County, so we've gotten reports of some funnel clouds, but no touchdowns in Clinton County. Okay, that actually makes some sense to me. We weren't seeing the real tight rotations. We were seeing some broad rotations within the storms in Clinton County, and you know, the radar gives us the information, but when you get the word from out there in the field, the spotters, that's worth its weight in gold. Want to show you something very important here in terms of our warnings. We've had a bit of an update, and that's good news for some of us in portions of the Miami Valley, because the Montgomery, the Greene, the northeastern Warren County tornado warning has expired. They have not renewed it, so that's good news. We still have that warning for Clinton County, and the area in Clinton County that I would be watching very carefully is this one right here to the northeast of Wilmington, heading northeast out of town along U.S. Highway 22. That's an area where it looks like there may be some rotation within this storm. Right in this area here is a possibility to be watching very carefully. So again, if it's heading off to the east-southeast, those of you Melvin southward down towards Lees Creek in eastern Clinton County, that's the area that we're going to be, I think is going to be under the gun with this particular storm as well. There's another area just northwest of there that also may be showing some signs of rotation. Again, we're seeing the same things over and over again. These little hooks like this, that's an area right there north of Wilmington. That's going to head down over the same areas where the first one is. So those of you that live essentially I-71 southeastward in eastern Clinton County need to be in a safe place in your home right now. That's one thing that we want to make clear. But again, the strongest storm, without a doubt, is this one off to the west in Butler County. Those of you watching us from Union County, looks like your threat really has gone down now. And the tornado warning for Union County has been allowed to expire as well. But seeing that hook just in the Oxford area, let's zoom in real close on Oxford. Again, if you know anybody at Miami University that may not be in front of a TV, call them on the cell phone. Let them know. Get to a safe place right now. I'm sure that everybody at Miami University has their cell phone on them. That's simply the way it is with college life. So give them a try. Get in touch with them. Kimberly, you're very familiar with this area as you went to Miami. So, again, very, very much. There's probably some people out in town right now, hopefully, to get to a safe place.
Up on High Street, that could be a potentially dangerous area. And also, you know, not only college students live there, if you know anybody that lives there that may not be watching the TV, or if anybody around this area, definitely, the storm has been going over much rural area, but right now it looks like it's going just north of Miami University and Oxford. And it looks like the main part of town may be okay, but still, definitely take care, take cover right now, and get to, again, as we've been saying, an interior part of your house or anywhere that you are in a building. If you are in an apartment building, get to the bottom floor. And I know we keep saying it and harping on it, but it is very important. And as we can see, we were watching that thunderstorm warning up in Richmond, and now it has been updated to a tornado warning, as we're seeing. So yes, in these severe thunderstorms, we can see rotation come up very, very quickly, and we are seeing some potentially turbulent winds. Not quite as strong as what we were seeing down in Oxford, but still, that doesn't, again, that does not mean that it is not dangerous, and that is moving into Eaton, into Preble County, and next would be Montgomery County. So if you are in the western part of Montgomery County, also make sure that you stay tuned here, and, you know, make sure that you are ready to take cover at a moment's notice. And as you can see,
those of you who just had the emergency activation system, want to pass this information along to you once again, that we now have the tornado warning that has just been issued. We were watching these storms with the severe thunderstorm warnings in Wayne, Northern Union, and Preble County. Tornado warnings now for essentially the same area, and that warning goes out until 9 45. So just like we saw initially in Montgomery and northern Warren County, starts as a thunderstorm warning. As these storms grow stronger, we start to get some rotation within these storms, and that's happened again with the storm that's off to the southwest of Richmond. So while we have had confirmations of a tornado on the ground around College Corner in northwest Butler County, that's the only confirmation on the ground we've had. Also watching this area here to the southwest of Richmond, and we're seeing the same things over and over and over again. Here it is right here, perhaps the beginnings of some rotation within this particular storm, just like we've seen with many of the others. So we continue to watch the same things, and we also can once again go over to one of these products that we have that shows us where some of the hail and turbulent winds are within this storm. We're seeing some of that southwest of Centerville. Just got an update there. Continuing to watch this area, not seeing the real turbulent winds with this storm yet. This is more an indication of some hail within this storm, but right on the southwestern edge of where we get these hail areas, that's where we could start to see a little bit of a spin up, perhaps with some of these storms. And the area that I'm talking about would be just west of Abington around Philomath. Let's go back over to Live Doppler 7 radar and show you exactly where that is. Again, it's going to be in this area right in here. Perhaps some rotation with this particular storm, something that we're going to watch. And one thing that's interesting here, Kimberly, is we're seeing a little bit of rain here on the southern edge. That's typically a signature that we can get where there is an area of rotation. Some of those winds that come around and start to push out to the east can kick up a little bit of rain on the east side. So that's the area that I would highlight right there,
you know, Jamie,
for that particular warning. Yeah.
This one also, it follows the pattern that we've been seeing, where it is on the southern edge of this band of storms that has been forming all evening long, and very similar to the ones that we saw in Clinton County, this formation was. And we have had confirmations of funnel clouds in Clinton County, not tornadoes on the ground, but funnel clouds. And here where we're showing you right now near Oxford, this has been confirmed a tornado on the ground. And when we see that 100 miles an hour and 1.5-inch hail, that's a pretty good indication that we do have a tornado there in very tight rotation. So this is how we can see it on the radar, but we also need the confirmation from the ground. You know, that just puts everything together, as you were saying, Jamie, and some very strong winds there as well. And right now that looks like that just updated, and you can see that's going right through Oxford right now. So definitely, and if you are anywhere to the south or to the east of Oxford, definitely take cover. If you're in McGonigal, if you're in Dartown, excuse me, or if you are in 7 Mile, take cover. And we're going to track this for you. New Miami at 9:33. And Overpack at 9:35. So if you are in this path of this storm has produced a tornado. We have confirmation of that near College Corner. So definitely take cover if you are anywhere in this storm right now. As James was saying earlier, people going out and looking at the sky, that's not what you want to do in this situation, especially because we have some pretty heavy rain out there. You probably wouldn't see anything anyways until it was too late for you to take cover. So, you know, definitely pretty dangerous out there. And as you take a look, if you are in any of these locations or anywhere near, if you know anyone in these locations, you want to give them a call, make sure that they take cover, make sure that they're safe. And don't try to race this storm home, too. That's a good piece of information. You know, if you think, oh, well, I can get there before it comes, just stay put where you are and take cover where you are. That's probably the best thing that you can do. And we have lots of tornado warnings out there right now, and we have been tracking these storms all evening. And Jamie, what else do we have going on right now? Let's take a look at the one up.
Well, actually, before we do that, I want to show everybody something that is very, very interesting. Let me get that track back up there again on this particular storm. One thing that we have to help us out behind the scenes, we don't usually show this on the air, but I'm going to show this in this situation. This is information on this particular storm here. Kind of tells us what it may have within it. And the first line you see there in that box, TVS, that stands for Tornado Vortex Signature. Now, basically, when the radar sees a rotation that is not a real tight one, it'll give us the word meso for mesocyclone. That means that there is some rotation in the storm. As that rotation gets much, much tighter, we can get sometimes this TVS, which is an indication that essentially there is a tight rotation in the storm. Often it produces at least a funnel cloud, and in this case we know it has touched down. We have had a tornado. Also, the severe hail, 70%. That means there's a very good chance of very large hail, and hail could be as large as 1.75 inches. And we've seen 1.5-inch hail with some of the indicators we have here. So just to give you an idea of the possible severity of this storm, TVS, again, indicating there could be certainly some very tight rotation with the storm, as well as some very large hail. Both of those significant threats not to be taken lightly with this particular storm.
And especially because it's been getting darker right now, you know, you can't really see anything coming. You definitely, you know, this is more than ever the time to take cover. And I also want to mention that we also have some flash flood warnings in effect. They were just issued, and that's for Warren County, Greene County, Montgomery County, Clinton County, and that goes in effect until 11 p.m. So some heavy rain as well. So even if you aren't in the path of the tornado, definitely probably want to stay put where you are because of all the heavy rain, some flooded roadways, and flash flood's not something to take lightly either.
Okay, now one thing we can do in these situations is go back and forth between live Doppler 7 radar and also the National Weather Service radar in Wilmington. So let's do exactly that. Here's live Doppler 7 radar, and we're actually handicapped ever so slightly right now because to the northeast of where the tornado may be in the storm is some extremely heavy rain and some hail, and it's blocking our radar beam a little bit at the moment. So we can switch over to the National Weather Service radar out of Wilmington, which has a much better look at the storm right now, and look at what it's showing. This is a classic hook echo off to the southeast of Oxford, which in some ways is good news for those of you in Oxford. Your threat's going to be diminishing over the next 5 to 10 minutes, but heading southeastward towards McGonigal, that's an area that is really going to be under the gun with this particular storm. So let's kind of zoom out a little bit, and what I want to do here is I want to kind of give you another idea of exactly where this is going to be heading, and it'll continue. I'm going to focus in on where the tornado may be in this particular storm, moving east-southeast at about 35 miles an hour, giving you an idea there. And one of the things we can do for you is take you right along the path of this. So continuing to head off towards the southeast, starting at our time now, 9:17 up to 9:20, just north of McGonigal, heading down towards New Miami, north of Hamilton as we head towards 9:30. So that's the area that needs to be starting to get prepared as this storm will continue to head off towards the east-southeast. So that's the area that's going to be up next under the gun for this particular storm.
And if you're in any of the areas in front of where that box was too, definitely take cover as well, or be prepared to, because this storm has been moving and we've been watching it move throughout the past half hour or so. And you know, definitely you don't want to wait until the last minute to get somewhere. And definitely a potentially dangerous storm, a very dangerous storm actually, as we have had those reports of the tornadoes on the ground. Haven't had any recently since it looks like it just went through Oxford, and now we're looking at another tornado warning, this one in Clinton County, and this is where we have seen or heard some reports of those funnel clouds. Again, not the tornado on the ground, but the funnel clouds, and this is looking like it's starting to move out of Clinton County, but still, as we take a look, you can see maybe a little hook right here, as well as we can zoom in right here near Reeseville, Melvin, just to the south of that, and along what this is State Highway 72 is what we're looking at right there, and right to the south of U.S. Highway 22. That's where we may see some rotation as well. So this one, again, we have had some funnel cloud reports in Clinton County, and it looks like another tornado warning box has just popped up, Jamie, and this one moving to the east of that.
This is going to replace the current Clinton County tornado warning, the first one that we had that includes Wilmington expires in about 10 minutes, and they're essentially replacing it with this new one, which is going to continue off to the east, Washington Courthouse southward for that very part of the storm that Kimberly was just talking about, continuing to head in that same direction off to the east-southeast. So for the time being, those of you that are watching us from Wilmington, your threat has gone down considerably for the time being, but we still have those storms off to the west that will continue to head towards the east-southeast. Let's quickly check in on our warnings in Wayne and Preble County. We don't want to ignore those of you. We're not seeing anything that looks nearly as defined as what we have southeast of Oxford, so that's an area that we'll continue to keep a very close eye on, but nothing looking tremendously threatening at the moment, and we'll continue to watch this one. Still, there's going to be the threat for some hail, some damaging winds, some heavy rain with this one as well, but we continue to really hone in on this cell here now in western Butler County. It continues to show signs of a well-defined hook. We have reports that there has been a tornado on the ground with this particular one, right in the McGonigal area, continuing to head off towards the east-southeast. And let's take a look at the winds again. We're not here. One of the problems we have with the winds here is that we don't really have a lot of rain to pick up the winds. The radar has to see something to know what direction it's moving in, and if we don't have any raindrops in that area, that typically means that we don't have a lot to measure the winds with. But certainly, live Doppler 7 radar is showing that hook clearly as well, just to the north of McGonigal, getting an update there for you. And this is a classic signature, Kimberly. We're seeing the rain wrapping around. Definitely, we're seeing what is most likely a tornado right in this area here.
And it has been a tornado. We've had reports of the tornado on the ground. If you are just joining us, that was up in College Corner, and now just to the northeast of McGonigal, to the south of Dartown. And this is moving to the east-southeast, and you can see it went through Oxford a little bit ago, through College Corner. And Jamie is going to, I think, track this for you. And we're going to see where this is headed now, to 7 Mile at 8:28, Grandview at 9:28, excuse me, Grandview at 9:30, Hamilton at 9:32, New Miami then at 9:33, and over to Overpeck 9:35. So we are continuing to track this storm as it heads to the east-southeast. A very, very dangerous storm, has produced a tornado. We have reports of that tornado on the ground. Haven't had any reports for quite a while, but definitely still looks like we have that classic hook there, that rotation, some pretty high winds as well. And this storm, again, continuing to move, and we are continuing to watch this storm, as well as we still have that tornado warning in place, and we still probably have that tornado on the ground as well. And definitely our Doppler radar is indicating that we still do have a tornado in this case, Jamie.
Yeah, and it was on the ground. We're not sure if it still is on the ground. I would not be surprised if it was. We're going to head over to James Brown now, who has more. James?
Yeah, guys, I just got off the phone just about 5 seconds ago with the sheriff's office there in Butler County, and I explained to them exactly what our radar is showing. They say they are hearing all sorts of activity in that area, but again, they're getting calls from everybody. To this point, no report of a tornado on the ground there in the area of McGonigal and Dartown. But as I asked the dispatcher, I said, anything else besides the tornado earlier in the area of College Corner? She says that is it at this point, but that's the hardest hit area that they're dealing with right now, trying to get deputies to that specific area. About 10 minutes ago, they were saying Oxford Township, Kimberly, as you know, just outside of the community of Oxford, just southeast, getting hammered by hail, as you guys were talking a few moments ago about just how big and how ferocious that hail was in that part of Butler County. Also, our radio partners, Kix 96, Jamie, you were talking about over in the area of Richmond. Well, apparently spotters in the area of Cambridge City, funnel cloud spotted at 9:02. That is according to our radio partners. And again, that's just screen left of Oxford and just a little bit to the upper portion of that screen as well. But again, as Jamie and Kimberly have been talking, it's quickly moving out of that particular area, but gives you a better perspective of the direction in which this has moved. And again, Cambridge City a little bit to the left of Richmond as Jamie's focusing in right there, but still some pretty heavy downpours and rains and so forth.
James, do we know what time that was?
That was at 9:02 in Cambridge City.
So a good 20 minutes ago, and that storm has moved off to the east. And this storm, we haven't really seen any classic hook echo signatures, much like the one that was in northeastern Warren County, northern Clinton County. That didn't have any classic hook echo signatures, but we had reports of funnel clouds there as well. So hopefully it'll be the case that none of these back into Wayne and southwestern Preble County touch down. Hopefully, as I mentioned, that'll be the case, but we continue with the tornado warnings for those areas as well, for the possibility, certainly, of that happening. So bottom line is, let's kind of give you a little bit of a recap on everything that's been going on here. The tornado warnings, you can see the flashing red boxes. Clinton County, that one expires in just a few minutes, and it looks like for now your threat has really diminished in Clinton County for tornadoes, other than the far south, or the far eastern, I should say, portion of the county. Wayne and Preble County, not seeing anything right now that would indicate a significant threat for anything on the ground. The area that we continue to watch is this one right here, where we've had confirmation of a tornado that did touch down in College Corner in the far northwestern part of Butler County. Still seeing that hook right here on radar, and continuing to watch this very carefully as it heads south and east. And this is the National Weather Service radar. We're going to use these both together so we can look at the storm from two different directions. That can be really beneficial in a situation like this. And we're seeing, again, right in here, a well-defined hook. And probably the tornado is going to be right in this area here, would be my best guess. So let's zoom in real close here and give you a real good idea of exactly what we're talking about. As James mentioned a moment ago, no reports in McGonigal. Nobody at least spotted it, but as Kimberly's been talking about, it may be very difficult in a situation like this with the rain that we have. It's dark now to be able to see these. So right around State Highway 130, heading off to the southeast, probably to the east of Highway 27 now. This road right here, Stillwell-Beckett Road, in the area of right in here, that is Mormon Road, and also right here, Dartown Road. So right in that area there, probably the threat, it'll continue to head eastward towards Visadom Road, and this right here is Hamilton-Richmond Road. So kind of giving you an idea of the area here in Butler County. And this is now starting to move into what is a much more highly populated area towards Hamilton. So that's certainly a significant threat here, as this hook echo, which may or may not have a tornado on the ground at this point, continues to head towards the southeast, towards the highly populated Hamilton area. So certainly that's a threat. And we also should point out, just to the northeast of there, all of this where you're seeing the darker shades of orange and red, there's probably some very large hail in this part of the storm, around 7 Mile from New Miami up to Collinsville. And this is going to be also headed off towards the southeast, down towards the Monroe area as well. So all of this area is going to have different types of threats for severe weather as we continue to head over the next half hour or hour. So let's switch back to live Doppler 7 radar again, and the hook is showing up just as well on here, pretty much in the same area. And again, it's the exact same place we're seeing, just east of McGonigal, continuing to head southeast towards the north side of Hamilton.
And you know, we haven't seen or had any reports of it on the ground since it hit down at College Corner, but still that doesn't mean that it isn't on the ground. There's a lot of rural area out there. It's dark outside right now. There's a lot of rain, and there's also some hail out there, as we've had lots of reports of hail. So, you know, we may have the tornado, maybe a funnel cloud right now, not on the ground. It could be on the ground, but we're certainly getting an indication of some rotation there. As Jamie was saying, what we like to call a classic hook. And as we take a look at this feature here, you can see the difference between the greens and the reds. That gives us a pretty good indication that there is some rotation there. And this also gives us a pretty good indication as you see the shades of the red and the yellow. The black to the right near Williamsdale and New Miami, 2-inch hail. That's where we're seeing lots of hail out there, and you're probably seeing that come down or hear that come down on your roof right now. This is a good time to get away from any windows. Certainly get into an interior room, and as you see the 100-mile-an-hour right there, yes, that is the winds.
Now, that doesn't mean that we have those winds at the ground. That means there's the potential for winds that high somewhere within the storm. But there is certainly the possibility that winds over 80 miles an hour could be mixing down to the ground. And if there is a tornado, certainly you could be having winds 80, 100 miles an hour in that particular location. So when we show you these numbers here, you have to keep in mind this is not an absolute as to what this storm has. This is kind of showing you the potential that this storm has. But it also definitely shows us that this is a serious storm. This is perhaps as strong a storm as we've seen in the Miami Valley all year long, and a dangerous storm, a very, very dangerous storm to say the least.
And you know, Jamie, we haven't really been seeing it die down all that much as it's been heading to the southeast. So it's not as if we're watching it die. It's remaining pretty strong out there. And as Jamie was saying, the potential of that storm, that 2-inch hail, not necessarily seeing that 2-inch hail at the ground, but at some point in the storm up in the clouds, we are seeing that and do have the potential of seeing that. And it looks like that tornado warning just got extended, Jamie.
It sure did, yeah. So now the tornado warning, and basically we can focus now on the new box here, the one that, let me highlight it for you just so we're clear. It's this one right here that continues across portions of eastern Butler County and also continues and is extended now through portions of Warren County, as that's simply showing you the idea or the area where this storm is going to be headed. And you may have just noticed that the old warning for Butler County has gone away here. So this is essentially a warning that is replacing the previous warning.
And this new warning is going to go until 10:15. So we're going to continue to monitor this warning for the next 45 minutes here. And it was at 9:23 that the National Weather Service decided to extend this. And I think that, you know, as we were saying, it really isn't weakening all that much. And the decision to extend it until 10:15 is probably a good indication of that as well. And here's a storm track of where this is now headed. And as you take a look at that, it's headed towards Woodsdale at 9:36, at 9:41 in Princeton, and at 9:49 in Westchester, 9:50 in Maud and Bethany. So if you are in any of those areas, now's the time for you to take cover. And if you are west of that, in the areas where it went through earlier, you are safe for right now, so you can get out of your safe spot for the time being. And, you know, we are watching this, continuing to watch it head off to the east, southeast. And again, until 10:15 is when we're going to monitor the storm until at least, as we take a look, you know, this tornado warning, this has produced tornadoes on the ground, and we're continuing to indicate those strong rotations and the strong winds as well. And in addition to that, some hail, some lightning, heavy rain, we have flash flooding across the area. But this is one that you definitely want to take care if you are in any of these areas that you see on the screen. You definitely want to take cover right now. And nighttime tornadoes are especially dangerous, and the main reason is you can't see them. So now is definitely not a good time to go outside and try to see the tornado.
And for those of you who are just getting the emergency activation system, want to get you up to speed for what you may have missed us talking about over the last minute or two, and that is the new tornado warning that has been issued for Butler and Warren County, and we continue to watch the part of the storm that may be producing a tornado now just to the north of Hamilton, continuing to head off towards the east-southeast. We just showed you those towns where it's headed a moment ago on your screen, and the hook appears to be a little less defined now than it was a little while ago. Don't think that we're by any means seeing the storm fall apart, but you know, these tornadoes, when you get these hook echoes, they can do what's called cycle, and that is that they get a little stronger for a while, they weaken a little bit, they can re-strengthen. So these, when you have a confirmation of a tornado on the ground, as we did in College Corner, and it looks like it's starting to weaken, that doesn't mean that it's going to be falling apart. It typically means that it's weakening now, but may re-strengthen. And also, we want to continue to stress to the northeast of where the hook is, in this part of the storm right in here, likely some very, very large hail. Hail that's going to break windows, hail that may be large enough to maybe do some damage to the roof of your home. And with winds that could be strong, you don't want to be in the upper level of your house. You don't want to be in the bedroom on the second floor. You want to get as low as you can. So let's go basically over some of those safety things to keep in mind in a tornado warning once again. Get as low as you possibly can. Get to the basement if you can. And get under a workbench. Get under your stairwell. If you have an interior room in the basement, a bathroom, a closet, those are great places to be. Grab some blankets, cover yourself up, and stay in that safe place until you are certain that the storm has passed. If you don't have a basement, lowest level of your home is good. Interior room, and again, bathrooms, closets, great places to be. And again, grab those blankets, cover yourself up. If you got some kids and you know that this is heading in your direction, if they have some bike helmets, go grab the bike helmets. Put the bike helmets on the kids. It'll protect their head. That's the most important thing you can do in a situation like this. So some large hail, some strong winds, as well as the threat of a tornado. All reasons to get to a safe place, stay in your safe place, and continue to stay there. Hamilton, this is about to move right through the center of Hamilton. Hopefully everybody is getting the information and getting to a safe place in that area there.
And you know, it is 9:35, so some people may be starting to go to bed. Some kids may be starting to go to bed. If you know of anybody in these areas, have any friends down there or family members, you may want to give them a call. Just make sure that they are safe down there. So a good thing for everybody to be watching, to make sure that your friends and your family are safe in these areas and that they can get to a safe place. And also, if you're in an apartment building, one of the best places to go if you are on one of the upper levels, don't stay there at all. Don't just go to your bathroom in one of the upper levels. Go down into a stairwell, or maybe go down to one of your neighbors' apartments and try to get down there. We are continuing to see some pretty strong winds with this, some hail, a very strong storm, and it has continued to be a pretty strong storm as well. And you know, again, we do have that tornado warning that is in effect, and that goes in effect until 10:15, and that is for Warren County and eastern Butler County. And I want to take you in to show you a little bit closer look at this. And this area right here where we're seeing the yellows and the reds, and as we this just got updated, and it looks like it weakened just a little bit. But again, as Jamie was saying just a little bit ago, that does not mean that we are out of the woods yet. Certainly still a pretty strong storm out there, and that is moving just to the north of Hamilton right now and to the south of New Miami and Williamsdale, and that's going to continue to move to the east-southeast as we've been seeing. And winds earlier, just a little bit ago, about 10 minutes ago, were 100 miles an hour somewhere in the storm. That was the potential of them. And now they're just less than 70 miles an hour. So still pretty strong winds out there. Just because they aren't as strong as they were doesn't mean that, again, it's not potentially dangerous. So you still want to take cover with this storm. We have lots of rain. We have some hail out there. And as we show you right here, we have a potential of up to 1-inch hail. So you may be seeing some dime-sized hail out there. You may be seeing some pea-sized hail. But certainly we do have the potential of that hail out there. And definitely a time when you want to take cover if you are in any of these areas. And we're going to take you back over to the radar if we can and show you this hook that we're seeing right in this area. And you can see Hamilton just to the east of Hamilton now, it looks like. And that's what it looks like is the strongest part. And you're seeing the reds up near Woodsdale. Williamsdale as well is where we're seeing heavier rain. Maustown and Princetown, looks like it's going to start to head farther to the south once again. And if I want to track this for you, if we can get a tracker on here, And we are going to continue to, again, see this move down to the east-southeast, and we'll take you through where the storm is going to go. Now, this is a little bit to the east of where that actual hook that we're looking at is, and let me move this out of the way so that we can see where this is going. It is going to be in Princetown at 9:39, Maud at 9:47, Mason at 9:55 now, and 20 Mile Stand at 10 o'clock. So we're going to continue to watch this storm move down to the east. And we also do have some other storms out there. Let's take you around. This has been definitely the strongest one, but now up in Union County, we also have another strong storm out there, and this one is going to be moving to the east-southeast, and again, we can see how or where this one is going to be moving to. It's moving to 5 points at 9:53, Goodwin's Corner at 10:01, 20 Mile Stand at 10 o'clock, and Kings Mills at 10:01. And this one, again, moving to the east-southeast into Preble County. So if you are in western Preble County, take cover right now. And that one, we also have a tornado warning with that one. Now it looks like the threat is out of Wayne County and south of Richmond, and starting again to move into the northern part of Union County and into Preble County. So we are continuing to watch this storm as well, Jamie.
Yeah, so Richmond, if you're watching us from Richmond, looks like your threat continues to go up. And I want to take a look at rainfall amounts just over the last 3 hours. And we can give you some numbers on here. And look at that, 3 inches of rain in some spots across northern Clinton County, from southeastern Montgomery County, northeasternmost Warren County, even back along the Union-Wayne County line. And 3 inches of rain have come down. And these storms are pretty much over the same areas, and they're going to continue. And we may actually see the flooding threat continue for a lot of the area. So here we go with a loop here over the last 45 minutes or so, and you can see the same areas over and over and over again getting rain. So we have the flooding threat. Kimberly, why don't you run down the flash flood warnings and flood advisories that we do have across the area?
Well, you know, Jamie, this all started, it just started to pop up a few minutes before 7 o'clock. So that's when the rain started. And in the last 3 hours, as Jamie showed you, since it started, that's how much rain we've picked up. So quite a bit of rain. It's no wonder we have these flash flood warnings, and that's for Clinton County, for Warren County, for Greene County, for Montgomery County, and that goes until 11 o'clock. And we are going to continue to pick up, again, those heavy rainfall amounts, and that's because these storms keep developing over the same area. They are heavy rainmakers, and, you know, as they continue to develop over the same areas and travel over the same areas, that's what we look for when we look for flooding. And, you know, it's not just what we're watching here and what we're looking at is in terms of rainfall amounts. We've also had reports of flooded roadways, and we are going to probably continue to get more of those reports. So certainly a good night to stay in if you are south of I-70. You know, we have the storms, we have lots of rain out there. If you live in a flood-prone area, you definitely, you know, want to be aware of that. Maybe watch the water rising.
And one thing that we're showing you now here is another product that we have. Our radar system has a lot of information we can pass along to, and what it's doing now is it's highlighting the areas that are going to be most prone for flooding, and they kind of mimic the areas that Kimberly was just talking about a moment ago, where we have the flash flood warnings. And this is showing what the rain rates are, and where you're seeing some of the oranges here, some of the red shades, 1.5 inches, 2, maybe 3 inches in an hour. So if you can get these storms to sit over the same place over and over and over again, certainly that's why we have the threat for some flooding across the area that we have been seeing. Let's take another look back down. Again, the warnings, tornado warnings continue for some areas. And let's continue to really hone in on the one that we know. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to show you. Let me clear that out and zoom in here. The one that we know there's been a tornado on the ground back around College Corner in northwestern Butler County. Still seeing that hook to some degree here. This is actually, I'm seeing something interesting here, and let me kind of talk about what I'm seeing now. The hook is back in this area here, And what we're seeing now is the main part of the storm starting to get a bit separated from where that hook is. And when this typically happens, that's typically a sign of weakening. Certainly weakening for the area of the storm that we've been seeing with the hook back in this area here. But what we may see, and we're going to have to just watch this carefully, is perhaps is there going to be a new part of the storm that may start to show up with some rotation. So it may be this area here, and we're looking at areas just to the west of I-75, I-75 right in here. This area here is the Butler Highway, State Highway 63. So those of you who have friends that live down in Westchester and Monroe, or if you're living in the Westchester and Monroe area, you certainly know the area that I'm familiar with. So certainly we'll continue to watch this as it heads eastward, and we are going to be watching this continue to head off to the east. Let's see if we can get you a track here. And where is my box for the cities? Not showing up for me at the moment. But again, the outline of the warning pretty much shows the area, and we'll continue to watch this head southeastward through eastern Butler County into Warren County.
And you know, Jamie, it is pretty, that hook has really, really weakened, and as you said, it is moving away from the storm. And there's that new area that we are going to start to watch, and as you can watch it move through these areas in the next little bit, Bethany at 9:48, so that's just 2 minutes from now, so take cover right now. Mason at 9:56. 20 Mile Stand at 10:01, Foster at 10:03, and South Lebanon at 10:05. So those are the areas now that you need to take cover in those areas. If you know anybody in those areas, make sure that they take cover. And this is moving, this is just to the northeast of the Cincinnati area along 75, moving over 71, and it is going to continue to move the area that we're watching right now. This is a storm that has produced tornadoes, as Jamie was saying. We've had reports of tornadoes on the ground, and it has been moving through from Indiana into Butler County and now into, it looks like, Warren County. It's going to continue to move as we get through, you know, until it starts to weaken out, and it looks like it's starting to weaken, but now look, that has separated from the storm, and it looks like we are starting to see another hook form right in there, and maybe some more hail.
What I've done is I've switched over to the National Weather Service Wilmington radar, and you can see they've just, you may have just noticed that they've kind of whittled away at the tornado warning here, the western edge, but we're definitely seeing the area of the storm that had the hook earlier is right along the western edge of that box. That part of the storm has fallen apart, but now it looks like we may be starting to get a new area of rotation within the storm right in here. And this is certainly an area now that we need to be watching very, very carefully. And sure enough, that's the area I think that's going to be taking over in terms of the tornado threat with this storm. All right, I just want to briefly head back to the north and pass along what I think is some good news for all of us, and that is that the areas in Wayne County into Preble County where we had a tornado warning, the tornado warning has expired. It's been replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning that you can see by the orange outlined box here, Eaton southward, back through the northern half of Union County. That is an indication that the National Weather Service people looking at their radar that issue our warnings are seeing less of a tornadic threat. Still the threat for some probably gusty winds, maybe a little bit of hail, but less of a tornadic threat. And this whole time, if you've been watching us from the Dayton area, you've had a lot of rain, a lot of lightning. None of these right now are severe. And in fact, let's turn on the lightning here. And that's one thing I know
over our studios we're hearing the thunder and the pouring rain, but keep in mind, again, Jamie, these aren't severe. So
no, but a lot of lightning, though, certainly in the Xenia area. But take a look at what we have over Dayton and over Xenia and south of Xenia, and compare that to the amount of lightning, and the lightning, of course, is the white flashes you're seeing. Compare that to that storm. That's a lot more lightning, and lightning can be a very good indication of how active a storm is. If the updrafts within the storm are stronger, you'll have more lightning. That means the greater threat for some hail and gusty winds. So this is certainly a stronger thunderstorm from Eaton down to Camden than what we're seeing in the Montgomery County area. And also, this storm here, that we've had the tornado warning for what is coming up on, I think, about an hour now, from Union County through Butler County, now through Warren County. That's showing quite a bit of lightning as well, and continuing to watch that one head off towards the south and the east also. And we will continue to watch this one very carefully. Right now, though, we're going to head back over to James Brown, who's got some more information for us. James?
Yeah, Jamie, you two have been talking about these torrential downpours and flooding. Yes, there are numerous streets around our area that are flooded. Yankee Street in Centerville off limits right now to drivers because of high water. Also, roads closed in the Bellbrook area. Keep in mind the Bellbrook is in the area of, it's in the western part of Clark County and in the area of Spring Valley. Now, that area out there, very low-lying area. So Washington Mill Road in the Bellbrook area. Sheffield Road is closed as well, as we take a live look outside from one of our tower cams. And Jamie and Kimberly have been talking about a lot of lightning associated with this storm. And again, we'll hold on to this for a couple seconds here to see if we can capture any of that lightning. But again, the big concern now is it's dark, as those two have been talking about, and people driving out on those rural roads, maybe out and about, coming around a bend, and then, oh, you just saw some lightning right there light up the sky and the camera. But again, you have to keep in mind on those rural roads, you don't see light, you don't have a lot to work with besides your headlights. You come around a corner and there's a flooded road, so you have to be really, really careful. We have crews all over the valley. We have Danielle Elias heading to the portion of Butler County and western Preble County in the area of College Corner on that tornado that Jamie and Kimberly have been talking about. As we continue to watch, again, lightning, folks, you have to be really careful with that as well. I'm going to send it back over to Jamie and Kimberly as they continue to watch what's going on down in the Hamilton area and the big concern there currently. Jamie?
Yeah, that is absolutely the area of main concern right now. The thunderstorms in Montgomery County and Greene County are strong, but no warnings right now. We have that severe thunderstorm warning, Eaton southward in Preble County, back into the northern half of Union County, Indiana. Threat for some wind and hail, but certainly the area that we need to continue to focus on is down in the Monroe area, especially southwest of Monroe. It's going to be crossing I-75 right now, and this is not looking like the classic hook that we saw a little bit earlier by any means. But still, I think there's certainly the possibility of some rotation within this particular storm, and the possibility that we could have another spin-up of a tornado as we head through the next half hour or so. James?
Jimmy, just getting reports from our newsroom. Apparently, Xenia, several calls from the area of Xenia right now. I guess a lot of rain, lightning. Also reports of apparently a 7-year-old child being hurt because of lightning hitting very close to that child's home. And again, reports of very heavy rain in the area of Xenia as Jamie zooms out a little bit, and again, he's going to focus right there. And again, you're seeing the yellows, even some of the oranges right there, Jamie.
Yeah, and a lot of lightning with this storm, too. And keep in mind, in a situation like this, you don't want to be outside, certainly when there's lightning, but also you want to stay away from any corded phones. Cell phones are fine as long as they're not attached to the wall with the wire. You want to stay away from electrical appliances. Hopefully, those of you watching us from home on your television, you have that television plugged into a protected power strip with a surge protector. Computers, if they're in a surge protector, that should be fine. And those are really important situations to think about when you're equipping your home, is to make sure that equipment can stay safe. Also, don't go in the bathroom and don't use the sink right now, because lightning can come in through the pipes into the bathrooms. The metal certainly is a conductor, so that's something that you want to stay away from. And we've even had reports. I remember a couple of years ago, lightning struck a light post out front of a house. The lightning traveled down through the post, through the wire, under the ground into a house, and blew out a couple of wall sockets, the outlets on the wall. So you really want to, lightning is with every thunderstorm. Lightning, I don't think we stress it enough as a danger because I think we get a little more used to it because every thunderstorm does have thunder and lightning, but certainly that is another threat out there, and these storms have been showing an awful lot of lightning across the area.
And you know, I think that we've been showing all the severe thunderstorms and the tornadoes, and certainly, yes, if you are in that path, that it does take precedence over any other lightning or rain. But in other parts of the Miami Valley, as those reports in Xenia, you know, that is a dangerous situation with the lightning, and in other parts with the hail and the heavy rain. As James was saying, you know, if you are out on those roadways, certainly don't try to drive through any high water to try to get home. And you may not see that high water. You probably don't know how deep that water is. In fact, in most cases, you don't. And, you know, just about 2 feet of water can wash away a car. So that's something to think about.
The best summer vacation deals are here. Right now on Expedia, save up to 30%
The National
during
Weather
our
Service
biggest
in
sale of
Wilmington
the year.
has issued a
Expedia.
tornado warning for southern Clinton County,
retirement is on
eastern
the
Warren
horizon.
County, until 12:45 a.m. At 11:53 p.m., National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This dangerous storm was located near Middleborough, moving east at 38 miles an hour. The public reported a funnel cloud with this storm near South Lebanon. Locations in the path of the storm include Blanchester, Wilmington, in addition, Clarksville, Ogden, Midland, Westboro, Cuba, Burtonville, Martinsville, and Morrisville are near the path of this dangerous thunderstorm. If you are near the path of this storm, take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Mobile homes and vehicles should be abandoned for more substantial shelter. Avoid windows. Please report tornadoes, funnel clouds, strong winds or hail to the National Weather Service by calling toll-free 877-633-6772 when you can do so safely. A tornado watch remains in effect until 3 a.m. Wednesday morning for southeastern Indiana and northern Kentucky and southwestern Ohio.
Bit of this Okay, tornado warnings now in effect for Warren and Clinton counties going until 12:45 a.m. These just issued moments ago, and let's show you again exactly where that warning is. And it's going to be for not all of Warren County by any means. Let me zoom out a little bit and show you exactly where we're talking about here. Till 12:45 for Warren and Clinton County. There you go. The red outlined area is the area that we have the tornado warning for. And that includes the Clarksville area, Blanchester, east of Morrow in southeastern Warren County. And the area that we've been watching carefully here that now has prompted this tornado warning is this area right in here. Southeast of Morrow, down towards Blanchester, and it's looking very similar to storms that we saw a bit earlier on this evening. Continuing to watch the southwestern part of the storm. It's going to be very similar in that it's also going to have the threat for some hail northeast of the area where we could be looking at the winds that may be rotating within the storm. So we're going to continue to take another look at the winds within the storm, and that's what we're seeing right here. And we're seeing a little bit of a sign of it just to the northwest of Blanchester, and perhaps that's the area that we'll hone in on as being one where we could see some rotation within this storm. This is another feature that we have. We've been watching these colors on your screen throughout the evening with the earlier warnings. And this is, again, an area where we're seeing probably some very turbulent winds within this storm and also some large hail. And it's on the southwestern edge of this particular area that with the storms all night. We've been seeing that what looks like it may be a bit of a hook. And this one is not as well defined as some others, but the areas where I was just seeing a moment ago, the center of the rotation was probably with this area right here. And this is actually starting to become a little bit more well defined just to the northwest of Blanchester. So if you were watching our coverage earlier on this evening, this is looking very, very similar to some of the storms that we saw across portions of the southern Miami Valley, with a little bit of a hook starting to show up now, again indicating that we do have perhaps some rotating winds. So if you're living in the Blanchester area here into southwestern Clinton County, you need to be in your safe place in your home right now. If you live in Midland and Westboro, same goes for you. You need to be in your safe place in your home right now. And we can give you a track on the storm. These all heading in the same directions that the earlier ones did, towards the east-southeast. So that's going to take you down across the southern part of Clinton County as we continue to see this head off to the east-southeast. And again, north of Blanchester, probably the threat for some hail with the storm as well. Kimberly?
And now, Jamie, I want to tell you, the National Weather Service just put this across, and they said that it was twofold, the reason why they indicated this. They indicated it on Doppler radar as being a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, as we've been showing you with those different colors and the rotations. And also, the public reported a funnel cloud with this storm near South Lebanon. So there's two reasons why this storm has been dangerous, and you know, that potential of the rotation, and also if somebody has seen the rotation. Now, not a tornado. Tornadoes happen when it's on the ground, but a funnel cloud, which is the rotation in the air, that funnel cloud in the air spinning. And it was located near Middleborough when they spotted it. It's moving east at 38 miles an hour. So certainly if you are in any of those cities that you see here, take cover right now. If you know anybody in these cities, they may be sleeping right now. Maybe you should call them and wake them up and make sure that they are aware of this and that they take cover. And I see that you have some sort of a...
Yeah, we just got word that tornado sirens going off in Centerville in Washington Township. Not really sure exactly why they're going off in Centerville and Washington Township. I know in the past we've had reports of sirens going off in Centerville when we have had severe thunderstorm warnings and also a tornado watch, but we don't have a warning for Montgomery County right now. We only have this one single tornado warning for southeastern Warren and Clinton County. So I am a bit puzzled by that, but those are the reports that we are getting. We do have a strong thunderstorm rolling into the Centerville area right now, but we currently do not have a severe thunderstorm warning with that storm. So we'll continue to watch a couple of storms here, and want to also point out that the flooding threat will be continuing across the area as well. There's that storm that's going to be heading east-northeastward through southern Montgomery County that is probably going to bring some gusty winds and maybe some small hail, certainly some heavy rain as well. But again, no warning with that storm at the moment. If that does change, of course, we'll let you know immediately. But right now, again, the only warning that we do have is with that storm down in southern Clinton County. Also, while we have the moment here, we were watching a storm west of Wayne County, Indiana, around Newcastle in the county west of Wayne County. We did have a warning, severe thunderstorm warning with that. If you're watching us during our newscast, that has not been extended eastward into Wayne County, but we do have some strong thunderstorms that will continue to push eastward through Wayne County as well. But again, no warnings with that particular storm at the moment either.
Well, Jamie, you know, as you just put on the lightning, and I noticed that in the storm...
Show that again, yeah.
Yeah, if you show that again, you can notice where the strongest storms are by looking at how many lightning flashes. Now, the lightning flashes are those little flashing dots that you see on the screen, and that's how many we've seen. And especially with the one with the tornado warning down in Clinton and Warren County, you see a lot of lightning flashes, and there are also quite a bit near Centerville. But as we take a closer look on this, quite a bit of them, and that means that it is a pretty strong storm, and certainly is if somebody has spotted a funnel cloud a little ways back. And 144 lightning strikes are what we're looking at with this storm. That is a good amount for a storm this size. And notice that it is one unique cell in its own. It's not part of a line as well. And, you know, that's what we've been seeing earlier with the storms that have been producing the funnel clouds. And then when they form into a line, things started to weaken off. That's what we were seeing earlier if you were watching.